It's time to practice what we've learned. We're going to be converting fractions and decimals. On the left here, you have 4 decimals. Go ahead and convert them into fractions. And on the right, we have 4 fractions. Try and convert them into decimals. So pause the video here, give it a shot, and then come back and we'll go through it together. All right, let's give it a shot. So for the very first number, we're looking at 0.82. How do we convert this into a fraction? Well, you sort of put it over 1, the over 1 method. So it's 0.82 over 1. And then we need to move this decimal point over 2 places. So we need to multiply this by 100 over 100. So that this total value here is actually just the number 1. And so the value of 0.82 does not change. And then when we do this, we're going to get 82 on the numerator over 100 in the denominator. And sort of that's our answer. That's a fraction. That's 82 over 100. We could simplify this, though. We could divide by 2. If we divide by 2, we're going to get, what's this, 41 over 50. And I'm not sure if we can simplify any further, but that's good enough for me. 41 over 50. Next, we've got 2.135. Well, we're kind of going to do the same thing, right? Do the shortcut version. Basically, we need to move this decimal over 3 spaces. That's 1,000. We have to multiply by 1,000 over 1,000. So I'm just going to write this as 2,135 over 1,000. Okay, and that is a fraction. And we should be able to simplify this. This one ends in a 5, this one ends in a 0, so they're both divisible by 5. So let's just see, what is 2,135 divided by 5? Well, this is going to be a 4, right? That'll be a 20. Give me a 1, bring down the 3, that's going to be a 2, so that'll be a 10 here. Subtract that, bring down the 5, that'll be a 7. So 427s, this equals 427 over 200. All right, there we go. So that's going to be the fraction version of 2.135. Let's go to the next one. All right, next we have 5.25 repeating. We're going to set this equal to x, right? So say x is equal to 5.25 repeating. And to move this decimal point over 2 spaces, we have to multiply both sides by 100. So I'm going to get 100x is equal to 525.25 repeating. And now I'm going to subtract away this original amount. So let me just line up the decimal points here, just like that. And what do we get? Do this subtraction. Well, on the left, we'll have 99x is equal to, well, we see these 0.25 repeatings are going to cancel out, and we'll be left with, this becomes a 0, a 2, and a 5, 520. Now to solve for x, we just have to divide both sides by 99. And there we go, 520 over 99. Let's look at the next one. 19.5 and then 0.512 repeating. So I'm going to set this equal to x, just like before. X is equal to 19.5, 0.512, and the repeating part is over the last 4 digits. So to make this nice and tidy, I want to move this decimal point over 1 space. So I get all of the repeating parts to the right of the decimal point. To do that, I need to multiply both sides of this equation by 10. So let's multiply this by 10 and then just move this decimal point over 1 place. So 10x is equal to 195.0512 repeating, right? Now I need to actually move this decimal point over another 4 places. So I have to multiply both sides by 10,000. So what am I going to get? What's 10,000 times 10? Well, that's 100,000. So over here, I'm going to have 100,000x is equal to 1950512.0512 repeating. So let's put some commas in here. That looks like this is 1,950,512.0512 repeating. And now I'm going to subtract off that original amount here, this 10x part. So let's move that down here and let's line up the fractions. Line up the decimal points here. And we should be able to do the subtraction. Okay, so let's subtract the left side first. So 100,000 minus 10, well, that's going to be 99,990x. And on the right-hand side, as before, this part is going to cancel out the repeating part. So let's do this. So I have to carry the 1 here. So that's a 12 minus 5. That's going to be a 7. And now I need to cat 1, 10 over here. So 10 minus 9 is 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. And then I have a 0, 5, 9, and 1. So I have 99,990x is equal to 1,950,317. I just have to divide both sides by 99,990. So we have 1,950,317 all over 99,990. And maybe I can simplify that. I'm not going to try. That's good enough for me. All right, so this should be our final answer here. It's 1,950,317 over 99,990. Great number. Let's do another one. All right, 1 over 25. Let's convert this into a decimal. So it's 1 divided by 25. Now, of course, 1 is less than 25, so it won't work. I have to start bringing in some of my infinite zeros that I have over here. So can I put 25 into 10? I cannot. Okay, so once again, that's not going to work. I need another 0. Does 25 go into 100? It does. It goes in 4 times, right? So there we go. Okay, so this is going to be my answer. 0.04. Let's do the next one. All right, 1 divided by 24. Let's try that. So 1 divided by 24. So just like before, 24 does not go into 1. Now I have to start dipping into these zeros. Does 24 go into 10? No, 10 is smaller, so that doesn't work. Does 24 go into 100? Yes, it does. It'll go in 4 times. 4 times 24 is going to give me 96, I believe. Okay, so let's subtract this off, and I'm going to get a remainder of 4. Okay, so let's keep going. I'm going to have to take down a 0. 24 goes into 40 only 1 time, right? 2 times will give me 48. That's too much. So let me subtract off a 24 here. Let's see. So adding a 6 will get me to 30 plus another 10, so 16. My remainder here is going to be a 16. Let me bring down another 0. 24 going into 160, I believe that'll happen, well, if we count by 25, it's 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150, and then 175. So probably only 6 times, right? So let's just double check. What is 24 times 6? 6 times 4 is 24. This is going to be 12 plus 2 is 14. Let's just double check what it is by 7. So this will be a 28. 7 times 2 is 14, 15, 16. Yes, that's right. So we're going to go with a 6 here, right? So 6 times 24 is 144. Subtract this away, and 6 will get me to 50 plus another 10. So it looks like I get a remainder of 16 again. I am actually repeating myself. This tells me I'm going to get the same answer again, right? So if I bring down another 0, I'll have a 160, and then that'll go in 6 times, and I'll get a 144, and I'll subtract that, and I'll get a 16 again. This is going to keep going, right? So once I see that my remainder is repeating, I know that my answer is going to be repeating. And so I see that this here is going to be repeating right over here. Just over there, and so this is going to be my final answer. 0.0416 repeating. That is equal to 1 over 24. All right, let's try one more. All right, 2,125 divided by 32. That's a big one. Let's try it out. So 2,125 divided by 32. Okay, now I am going to set up a little times table here for 32 because I don't know my powers of 32 very well. So let's set that up first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So this is going to be a 32. Next would be what? 64. After that would be what, a 96, I think that's right. After that, 128, and then a 160, 192, 224, 256, and then 288. Okay, so these are all my multiples of 32 from 1 to 9. So let's just keep that on the side there to help us out. So let's get started with the long division here. 32 does not go into 21, but it does go into 212, right? So 212 I see is going to be, it's going to be a 6 then, right? 7 is too much. So let's go with that. That's going to be a 6, a 6, all right? And that'll give me a 192 when I do this subtraction. Well, that's just going to give me a remainder of 20, right? Okay, so I can bring down my 5. So now I'm at 205. I believe once again I'm going to have a 6, right? So once again this is going to be a 6. This will be a 192. I'll do the subtraction there, and what am I going to get? So this will be a 13, is that right? I think this will be a 13 remainder. So 13, and now I have to start dipping into my zeros. Okay, it's going to bring down a 0 here. 130 looks like that's going to be 4. Okay, so let's go with that. It's going to be a 4, and 4 times 32 is 128. Let's subtract that off. Have a remainder of 2. Okay, that's good. Let's keep going. Going to bring down another 0. And 20, well, 32 does not go into 20. So I actually have to bring down another 0. It's going to be 200. Okay, so that's going to be a 6 again. Let's see, 6 is going to be 192. Let's subtract that away. Looks like my remainder is just going to be 8, right? So let's bring down the next 0. 32 going into 80. Looks like that's going to be 2. Okay, so this is a 2, and I'm going to have a 64. Let me subtract that. So 6 will get me to 70 plus another 10, so the remainder of 16. Okay, so let me bring down another 0. We're going to keep going, right? It doesn't end until it ends. And 160. Okay, actually it looks like it's ending now. Okay, so that's going to be a 5. So 5 is here. That's going to give me 160. Subtract that off. Get a remainder of 0. I've done it. We've gotten our answer here. Our answer looks like it's going to be 66.40625. There we go. Okay, a terminating decimal. This is equivalent to 2125 over 32. Perfect. I think we've got one more remaining. Let's go ahead and do that one. All right, here we are, the last one. It's going to be 21 divided by 13. So let's see if we can set this up. It's going to be 21 divided by 13. And just like before, I'm going to set up a little times table to help me out because I'm not super good with my multiples of 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We're going to start out with a 13. What do we get? 26, and then a 39, 52, 65, 78, 91, 104, and then 117. Okay, there we go. So that's our little utility times table that we'll put off to the side there. Let's do the long division. Okay, 13, does it go into 21? Yes, it goes in just one time, right? Just one time. There we go. That's going to give us 13. We'll subtract that away. What's that going to give us? 7, 8. All right, so that'll give us a remainder of 8 here. Okay, perfect. Now we have to start dipping into our zeros. Okay, so let's put this down and bring down a 0. 13 into 80. Looks like 6 is going to be my answer there. All right, so that's going to be 78. We'll subtract that away and get a remainder of 2. Let's bring down another 0. Okay, 20 looks like it's just going to be 1 again, so this will be a 13. Subtract that off, we'll get a remainder of 7. Let's bring down another 0. 13 into 70 looks like 5 times, right? So 5 times here is going to be 65. Subtract that off and get a remainder of 5. And now we're going to bring down another 0. 13 into 50 looks like it's going to be 3 times. So 3 times 13 is 39. Subtract that off. 1 looks like a remainder of 11. Yeah, so a remainder of 11 here. So we'll have to bring down another 0. Let's bring down another 0. Into 110, it looks like that's going to be 8 times. Okay, 8 times. That's going to be a 104. Let's subtract that away. 104 minus this, or it's just a remainder of 6, right? Okay, so remainder of 6. And let's see, let's bring down another 0. Running out of room, let's put the 6 up here. Okay, let's bring the 0 over here. So going into 60, looks like that's going to be a 4. Okay, so that's a 4. That's just going to be a 52. Let's subtract that off, and we're going to get a remainder of 8. And, oh, look at this. We are now repeating because we're going to bring down another 0, right? And we're going to say 13 into 80 is going to be 6. And then we get that. We're going to get a 78. We're going to get a remainder of 2. And then it's going to keep repeating. Okay, so once we got to here, we have finished our long division because everything is going to repeat now. So that means this entire section here is going to be repeating, and then this is going to be, there we go, 1.615384 repeating. That's what we get for 21 over 13. Great. Hopefully you got the same answers that I did. This was a good practice. I'll see you next time.